also get to name your firstborn child. That was in the terms as well. We're thinking Dork-Face Stinkerbutt. Unless it's a boy, then we're gonna call him Gary.
Oh, he's got his cowboy hat on. I want to be a cowboy, baby.
Stephen has his avatars and he has his
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
What?
Nice
It's authentic.
Yeah, technically that's a rodeo and or rancher hat.
Going to be a pain with the headset, though.
So just to let you guys know, Mephisto doesn't know shit about this movie. He is here as my personal emotional support animal.
Because you can't have Amelia yet. She's mine.
There.
So Mephisto, I just told everybody that you're my emotional support animal.
Oh yeah, sure. I am a meat popsicle.
Meat popsicle. I want to
put your hands on the yellow circles.
Yeah,
Gambit
exactly.
Gambit and Snorty are here. Hi guys.
And D-Bud.
D-Bud Martin is here too. Holy smoke! Yeah, he just popped in. Hey, buddy. Yeah,
I don't want to bring down the show.
When I woke up, the first thing I did when I woke up today was to make sure Mephisto was okay. Him and his family.
Yeah. It was okay until about 2 hours ago. It was fine. It was quiet all day. Nobody was walking around. Well, some were walking around, but it was. First of all, it's a Friday, so up until about 2 p.m., 3 p.m., there's a lot of hustle and bustle because people are like preparing for the Sabbath. Because I'm living in a pretty religious area where there's nobody around, like nobody's driving a car. But today there was no hustle, there's no bustle, there's no nothing. There's nothing. It was dead quiet, which is fine because I needed to catch up on my sleep because they did get up. It's so weird. They turned on the sirens all over the place at 3 a.m. There was no need for it. They just wanted the entire population up on their feet while shit was going down in
if we're not sleeping, you're not sleeping.
Exactly. It's like our pilots are not sleeping. You aren't eating. They wanted everybody to know.
I was in the military, man. That's how it is in the military. It's
sounds so like
nobody gets to sleep right now.
Nobody gets to sleep. And then when things kind of calmed down, I kind of crashed out. Plus, it was easy to crash out because there was no, like, there were buses, but they didn't really stop at the stop close to me. So I couldn't hear the bus stopping. And there's the, our buses have some sort of an obligation because of blind people to have this speaker on the outside saying, this is line number, whatever, 66. This is the stop. This goes to direction of Tel Aviv. This is going to whatever. So it isn't in my street. It's the one street over, but because I'm like the tallest building around me, I can hear it. My bedroom window goes to that place. So during weekdays, it's a bit noisy past like 8 p.m., even 7, and not a.m., sorry. 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. gets a bit, rowdy and you can't really sleep. And we don't want to shut the windows because it's already summer. It's pretty blazing outside. It's even blazing outside right now. It's pretty hot. We're all good. I got a few messages from people around the world, actually, from Netherlands, people that are near and dear to my hearts from the UK, like people I know, people like super based, not shitheads, people who are like seriously wanting their country to have a constitution because they hate it over there. Even Nadia sent me a message like, Meph, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, Nads, awesome. She's a cool person. I love her.
Like I said, I got a few messages from friends, and like some of them, even before this shit went down this weekend or yesterday, essentially, send me a message like, I know it's a bit tense out there, so just know that we don't necessarily support Israel. We love you, which I always say, you don't need to support Israel. You don't have to be. I'm fully aware of where I am, what I am, and what people think about my country and my prime minister, which again, I have to stress, I didn't vote for. But it's a fucked up situation, and people have to realize that there are tons of people who live here who really like, especially my age, who like they yearn to, like, they want to live here, they will protect their country, but they don't really agree with the current state of things. They would much rather just sign some sort of peace treaty, get away from like certain territories just as long as they're left alone, which sounds pretty basic, right? And most of those people are considered lefties, but they're like, they have military background, some of them special forces, some of them Navy SEALs, pretty level-headed people that know what the enemy is like and what is up on the other side. And it's essentially I don't want to say a global machine of terror, but it is. It is. And it's,
Well, I do want to
I
point
don't
out
even
that
want to
some-
blame the religion. I don't think it's fair, because you have to realize this. Before the October thing, I was riding on the bus with people who live on the West Bank coming to work here. They had a ride to where I live, which is closer to the West Bank. It's not close, but closer. So they had rides. They leave them here, and from here, the city I'm in, you can go anywhere in the country. It's a good hub of like bus rides and like train rides and all that stuff. So I was literally I was getting on the bus, and at one point there was like an influx of at least like 20 like mostly construction workers that are there, and some of them are working in the university where I am, and I get to talk to them, and they also say, look, it's pretty shitty, but like, you guys treat us shit. And I said, well, I know, but what can we do? Your side has some pretty fucked up people. It's like, we would like them to go away, but they're holding the guns. So we're both kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So if you're on the outside looking in, it seems rather simple. Just, separate the people. One go one side and one go the other side. But you have to remember, that side has some people who would, if given the chance, would literally burn America to the ground. That's what we're dealing with. Their extremists are way out there. Like way, way out there. So, and to be fair, even their terrorists are being used by other people.
Yep.
And we're dealing with those people now, I guess.
So
It's
I'm going to
complicated.
get us back on track and get away from
Sorry.
this because YouTube's gonna be a shitheel about it if we talk too long.
That's why I didn't
So-
say the bad words. I just said them.
Them, they,
Them.
Oh
We're
my
them.
God.
We're they.
I
We're the men in black.
I identify as them, they.
Them they.
Jesus
Exactly.
Christ.
So I'm going to add
Yeah.
this to the screen right now. This is a slideshow of some behind the scenes that was taken during the making of the film.
I thought you were
I've
about to
got-
say. I thought you were about to say this is the man who shot Liberty Valance. Just kidding.
Okay, shut
By
up,
the way,
Gambit. Oh my God.
Stop reading the chat, Gary. Listen to me. Stop reading the chat. Stay on point.
you have
So-
2 star comments that you should address. But before you do that,
You owe
it
someone a
is-
video.
Yes, it's absolutely necessary.
I've already got it here.
Fuck up, Kyle.
It's lined up. Here we go.
You posted it.
Anyway, Kyle is here. You put on the video. Let's go.
Yes. Oh man, Captain Pike was so young.
So
Thank God.
yeah, this is
You
and
just-
apparently
private
he got along really well with Wayne and Ford during the making of the film. It was a very friendly and jovial movie set, despite the fact that Ford was a cantankerous guy that would really get up John Wayne's ass sometimes because he would talk down to him in front of the cast and crew, and it pissed a few people off over the years that he would do that. But Wayne looked at him like he was his dad in many ways. So he really looked up to John Ford. And he revered him and he loved him. And it's just really weird. But here's some more, like I said, here's some great behind the scenes photos from the making of the film. There's a really interesting visual goof in the film that until somebody pointed it out to me, I've never seen it or noticed it. But during the scene, in a winter scene where the cavalry is going across the river towards the camera, up on the mountain, you can actually see a road and there's a car on it driving. It stops. It's like they noticed, oh, they're making a movie over there. Let's stop and see what's going on. It's funny.
They're from the midgets.
That is,
They're from the
it's
midgets.
it's barely noticeable though, because it even took you a while. You had to watch that scene.
Yeah, I kept looking like, where am I looking? Because I
Yeah.
kept looking at the tree line. It's like, nope, it's all the way over on the right on the mountain in the background. You can see a silver light car pull up and stop. Did the film strip stop? Is it over?
It's not over, but it's not moving.
It seems to be stuck.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it down now and remove it. Because it's a 3-minute video. And it doesn't seem to want to play right now. But this is, in so many ways, in my opinion, if not the greatest Western, it's one of the greatest Westerns ever made. Because something interesting about this film that a lot of people don't seem to notice is that there's a lot of subtext to this fucking movie.
Yes.
That when you first watch it, you don't quite notice it, or you notice something, but you're not sure what it is. It's usually on your second or third viewing, you go, oh my God, there's other stuff going on here. There's a subplot in this film that people don't even fucking notice. That is echoed.
No.
It's echoed later in the film when you see 2 of the main characters basically having the exact same situation happen with them. That is clearly what happened between John Wayne's Ethan and his brother and his wife Martha.
Mm-hmm.
And the echo you see is, of course, the scenes between Jeffrey Hunter playing Martin Pauly and his relationship with Laurie Jorgensen, played by Vera Miles, and his the other suitor being played by Ken Curtis in his first major film. He plays Charlie McCory. And a lot of people don't know that he came up as a singer. Ken Curtis, best known for playing Festus on Gunsmoke, probably one of the single most beloved Western characters on television is Festus. And he came up as a singer. What were they called? The Pioneers band of men, country singers? I can't remember. Anyway, he was a country Western singer. Hell of a voice. You hear him in the movie, he sings. Really good voice. But the conflict between Ken Curtis and Jeffrey Hunter's characters over Vera Miles echoes clearly something between Ethan, played by John Wayne, and his brother, played by Walter Coy. He plays Aaron Edwards, and his wife, Martha.
Which still have feeling for him. You can see that when
you can see the way she holds his coat, the way she.
Yes.
There's a moment when he goes to go in the other room, and she grabs him under the arm. He's leaving, and she grabs him under the arm, and he kisses her gently on the forehead to say goodbye. And when he turns to walk away, her hands remain in the holding position of his arm. There are these little things. You also see it if you watch Ethan. Whenever he turns away from his brother or the family to look at something, he's always looking at her. And it's a gaze mixed with sometimes a look of loss and pain. And this was subtext that upon basic viewing, you don't realize that is echoed later between those other characters, that she is, home while Martin's off doing whatever the fuck he has to be doing, like Ethan was always doing as a Texas Ranger, because he was a Texas Ranger before he went into military. And, because Anima goes, why does he speak Comanche? And I said, because of the problems the Rangers had with the Comanche. I said he's well versed in Comanche because of the fact that he was one of those guys that was hunting and killing them through the Ranger.
Like you pointed out, Gary, you don't catch a lot of the subtext on the first watch, and it was a first watch for me yesterday. So today, rewatching some of the scenes totally made me see context that you don't pick up on the first time.
Yeah, and you just watch John Wayne's performance. And by the way, this is probably one of the best performances of his career. And he considered it personally the best film he ever made. And he was afraid to play this character. He didn't think he was right for the part. And because he did that. He did that with this movie. He did it with True Grit. And he did it again with The Shootist, because he wasn't sure he was right for the character. And all three films are all three of his best performances in a Western. So I'm always glad that he took that chance to make these films. And he is a dark, dark fucking character.
Yes.
It's like, one, he's traumatized by war. This is a man who's been killing for a long time as part of his career. And when I say killing, there's a fine line between killing for your job and murder, because sometimes it's state sanctioned murder, and you all know that. So this is a character who's jaded and cynical at the onset of this fucking movie. He is so fucking dark and cynical, but you see him, this guy, when he's with the family, this is the part where you see him show who he really is as a person, because
he's
he
not
can
a monster.
feel joy. No,
Yeah.
he
still there.
loves.
if I may, he goes long distances to try to appear as a monster, but he clearly doesn't. He's not, and you only notice that in the third act, in two particular scenes at the end of the movie, when he says to Martin, "That was the hair of the scalp of your mother," and has spent the whole movie telling, "This is not your family," and then in a heartbeat, he let it sleep. Yes, you're part of us. And when he finally get to the girl that they had been searching for, you think, "Oh my God, he's gonna shoot her." And what does he does? He carries her like when she was a little girl.
Well, we'll get to that. I don't want to go into the end of the fucking movie yet. But basically, yeah, because you've got to, in order to understand Ethan's character. And by the way, he loved this character so much. His last son's name is Ethan, John Wayne.
Nice.
And I always like that. And a lot of, like, Don Ecker comes down hard on John Wayne because John Wayne is not a draft dodger. There's a difference between being a draft dodger and being what John Wayne is. John Wayne found an out, a legal out.
Yeah, he didn't leave the country.
Yeah, and he just, it was a huge mistake that he should regret. He should have served his country during a time of war. But he chose to stay stateside to take care of his family. And as honorable as that is, it was a mistake. You just don't do that. And what would have happened? He would have just made movies for the military, doing the same fucking thing he did anyway, making patriotic war films. It's really dumb.
Didn't he do like Iwo Jima and all that stuff?
He did he did so many he did the first movie about Pappy Boyington, even though that's not the character in the film. But he did the Flying Tigers movie, which we've done on the show. It's one of the most watched videos we've done, is the John Wayne war film, The Flying Tigers, which is amazing how they pulled it up because they didn't have any flying tigers for the movie. They had full-size props and miniatures is what they did. And the props, they weren't flying planes. Man, those things were practically falling apart when they made them. Oh my God. It's a great film. If you've never seen it, go watch our video about the Flying Tigers. It is a really good look back at the history of film and war. But with John Wayne.
So wait a minute. How did they pull it off? Did they call Disney and ask for a flying elephant?
No, Disney wasn't much of anything. Disney wasn't much of anything at that time. The Flying Tigers were pulled off by the props department, I think at Warner Brothers. And they pulled that shit off, man. Those weren't real fucking planes for the most part. And the miniatures saved the fucking day. They had great fucking miniatures for that film. They looked so real. I thought they were real for some of the flying scenes. I'm like, oh man, look at that. That was a miniature? Get the fuck out of here. Watch that fucking video where we talked about that movie. Now, going back to this one, is it Flying Leathernecks or Flying Tigers? Which one was it? Anima, you were there.
Flying Tigers.
Joke
Tigers,
flew by your nose like
What joke?
It did. He was trying to focus on the sentence that he was saying so he doesn't forget it. Because
I know.
Yeah, I'm focused on what I'm doing right now. So this is where you can pull jokes on me and I won't get them because I'm so hyper-focused on what I'm talking about. I put a poll out there for you guys. And it looks like a majority of you agree that this is the greatest Western ever made. And I've always considered it the greatest Western ever made. In fact, I put in the top 10 Westerns of all time, 4 of them star John Wayne, 5. You got The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. That's another film he almost turned down with Lee Marvin and Jimmy Stewart. Fucking great movie. Stagecoach was the movie that made John Wayne's career. It was, of course, one of the first major films that John Ford made. And he made John Wayne. And John Wayne, of course, is a real person, a real actor, but he took on the name John Wayne when his real name is, I think it's Marion Michael Morrison. I think that's what it is.
Yes. Marion is his first name.
And it's just not a cowboy name, as they told him. So he came up with the name John Wayne. And Zach, you've got to see this movie. And pay attention when you watch it, because I'm giving you an advance warning. Pay attention to the way Ethan, John Wayne's character, looks at Martha, his sister-in-law. And the way she looks at him and interacts with him, they're clearly in love with each other. But decisions were made, and they honor it. But they clearly, deeply love one another, which is why he's so devastated. But here's the other one that has been a rumor for years, is that little Debbie is not Aaron's daughter. That's Ethan's daughter.
I don't think
which is why
so,
she
no.
doesn't look, which is why she doesn't look like the other kids. It's something that may have very well been put in there as subtext by Ford. That is why
did you say that name?
I was thinking that thing, but I was
Martha.
Why did you say that name?
I saw The Searchers. That's why. Haven't you seen The Searchers? So
I want to buy to that theory. I want to buy that theory because, man, that would destroy the whole ethical streak of Ethan.
No. In fact, it creates a whole new layer to it. If she were his daughter, the fucking, because you don't understand, and this is why Quentin Tarantino, I love the guy, but he's so full of shit when he says that John Ford was a racist in making his film. John Ford had some issues, but the fact is he deals with race and racism as a subject, and he usually comes out more on the more liberal side of things, which is why Quentin Tarantino, I don't think he understands John Ford at all. Spielberg does. Spielberg has a better understanding of John Ford. I don't say he's got the greatest understanding. I think the only person who fully understood John Ford was John Wayne. Him and Henry Fonda. So I hate the song, by the way. I've never been a fan of that song. I prefer Sons of the Pioneers. That's who I was talking about. That's who the actor Ken Curtis had sung with. And also another great actor in this film. By the way, this is made up of a lot of the John Ford, John Wayne posse, which includes Harry Carey Jr. He plays the oldest son, Brad Jorgensen, and his dad is played by John Quaylen. And Quaylen is a Canadian actor, by the way, relocated to the United States, known for doing accents in his movies. And his accent in this one, people mistake it for Swedish because he really does sound Swedish, but he's actually doing an impression of his parents' accent, which they, of course, were Norwegian from Norway. I think that's the accent. I think that's
not really Swedish. It's more Norway.
It's Norwegian.
In America means Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish. Because it's so funny because for years, the Muppet Chef has always been said the Swedish chef. But in reality, and even I talked to Andre about this too, and he goes, yeah, he's Norwegian. He's not Swedish. He's Norwegian. Bork, bork, bork. I pause it here for a second because this is because John Ford brought Monument Valley to the American consciousness. It's one of the most scenic places to shoot up in Utah for Westerns. And he used it all the time. But what I love about this film is it's almost, and Anima pointed this out. It's a character within the film, the location,
Yes.
but it's not a fucking tourism film. Which his later film, Cheyenne Autumn, it really uses the scenic views of Monument Valley more as a selling point rather than being part of the story. And I always thought that was a mistake. I'm not as big a fan of Cheyenne Autumn. This movie's incredible because when you watch her go out there, that is a woman looking for the man she loves. She's not acting like a sister-in-law. Happy you're here. Look at this, that longing, the way she holds on to that post when she approaches that post.
And when she takes his coat.
Look at her.
I really wanted to go to Monument Valley, but it was a bit too far away from Vegas when I was there.
Well, we plan to go there.
Go one day.
We will go there. We will go there. Because I went there as a kid, and I think it's just gorgeous. By the way, the eldest daughter is absolutely looks like the young version of my housemate Lauren. Now they go out of their way to point out that the kids are all blonde gingers, okay, except for little Debbie here. Little Debbie's completely different, and I want to point that out. Also, I want to point out there is a racist slur used in this film, other than, of course, the word Indian, which really, it's not a slur. That's just how they talk in the West, Southwest. They didn't know how to say Indian correctly. They said Indian. They're not saying with a J. They're just saying the D so quickly that it sounds like a J, and that's where Indian came from. But there is a racist slur in this film that's used later where he calls Martin blanket head because he's 1/4 Cherokee, or so he's been told. And basically, blanket head is a PG version of the word blanket ass. And blanket ass is a derogatory term used for most American Indians, but it really was directed at the Shawnee and the Cherokee and their constant carrying of blankets. So that's used. And I love this shot because you see the wind here, but when we cut to the opposite angle, no wind. No hair getting right here. Hat's not being blown up. The hair's not getting messed up. But still, look at the way there's an intense love between these two characters that goes beyond.
And I guess the weather is its own character there too.
And I've always been kind of confused. And
location.
I don't think for a second he misidentified her. He knew that was Debbie. He was fucking around when he picks her up. Because he says, calls her Elizabeth. No, that's Elizabeth. I'm Debbie. And it's like, I thought that was adorable and funny. And it was not a mistake. He was doing that on purpose. He knew who she was. And like I said, there's that underlying rumor that Ford intentionally put the question with the way he acts with her compared to anybody else in the house. The way he acts with her like a father to a daughter. So basically, she is the wife he should have had, and that's the daughter they would have had together. But just like in the story later, because Martin, played by Captain Pike from Star Trek, he's out in the country, and so the girl that's in love with him is going to marry another guy that she's not in love with. And it's an echo of this relationship. And it is there. I'm not telling you, oh, I'm guessing. No, it is intentionally there for a reason, to let you know that this guy made decisions that cost him so fucking much. And I don't think there's a great deal of love between him and his brother Aaron either. Now there's the nephew played by Captain Pike. What's his name? Jeffrey Hunter. He shows up for dinner, and he has disdain for him right off the bat. Look at the way he's looking at him. Despite having beautiful blue eyes, he points out that he's a mixture of Welsh, and I can't remember, Dutch or something, he says, and 1/4 Cherokee, or so I'm told.
8 Cherokee, and the rest is Welsh and
8
English.
Cherokee. So again, I think the subtext is in the fact that they cast strawberry gingers to play Aaron's kids, and then there's this dark-haired, dark-eyed girl that's so different from the other kids, and I think it's there for a reason. I don't think that's an accident. John Ford, like Stanley Kubrick, is not known for his mistakes in the story. And by the way, I want to point out something else that's very well known about John Ford. He edited in his camera. He did not shoot a whole bunch of extra scenes. He shot the scenes as they were because he hated studio interference, and he learned to do that to keep them from being able to edit his movies after he finished it. Yeah, Welsh, I used to think was a fictional country. Then I went there and I met him, and there's some weird fucking people. Love them. I'm part Welsh. I'm just telling you, there's some weird fucking people, very paranoid. We went into a pub, and my dad and I were speaking English, and there were these 3 guys bellied up to the bar, and the minute we walked in, they went from speaking English to Welsh.
Well, that's typical.
We're clearly not spies. It's a dad and his son. Fucking goofy. So, well, also, he shoots a look at his brother-in-law here, by the way. When he gives him the coins, the wife walks into the bedroom, and Ethan's watching her go into that bedroom and then shoots a dirty look at his brother for focusing on the fucking money instead of his beautiful wife going into that bedroom. And God, if you don't pay attention, you miss all these little nuanced performances in this. There is an absolute disdain between John Wayne and his brother. Because when he comes up the first time, you're like, are they going to shake hands or are they going to fight? Because Wayne, there was no love in that look he gave his brother. You're the guy with my family. That's the way I think he looks at Aaron. He doesn't respect him. And just like the dog, there he is outside on the porch while Aaron goes to bed with the woman he's in love with, that's in love with him. So, all right, let me address this because this is a cool scene. Ward Bond, that big motherfucker right there, was best friends with John Wayne. They were just pals, man, for years. They used to go down to Mexico, and there's stories of so many fucking drunken brawls in Mexico with those two. John Wayne loved Mexico, and every single woman he ever married was either Mexican Spanish or Spanish Mexican. And I always thought that was interesting. And but Ward Bond was his best friend, went on many drunken, they were both football players, so they just had an immediate connection when they met. So anyway, let's get to these questions while I pause here. Niece Nettywood is shot in VistaVision on Eastman Color negative with processing and prints by Technicolor as they use. Yeah, glorious shiny Technicolor. Yeah, this was shot in VistaVision, the movie. And it was something to see, man, in the theater. You can actually hear Martin Scorsese talk about this on YouTube, seeing it in the theater in VistaVision. And it's so true because back then the movie was constantly being played. So you would show up, and him and his friends showed up to see it as kids, and they came in at halfway through the movie. So they would watch half the movie to the end, and then they would stay and watch the opening again and watch the part that they missed. And theaters allowed people to do that back then. So let's see, what was the next one? Slasher Fred said something here. With George, yes, I responded to this in the chat that, and I think it was Gambit made fun of it because I said Star Wats instead of Star Wars. But George Lucas was heavily inspired by, not just by John Ford, but by this movie for the scene when Luke comes home and finds his aunt and uncle dead and their homestead destroyed. That was absolutely inspired by this movie. So, yeah, good one, Slasher Fred. And of course,
Wolfen.
Game Night Tonight. He's been a member for 43 months, and he's also a member of the fucking team. So good on you, John.
Fallout?
And for John, Anima?
What?
Is he still playing Fallout?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I'm going to die of old age before he finishes that fucking game.
Yeah, seems like it.
Oh well. In any case, for thanking his 43 months as a member, this is a video for you, John.
I've got 5 terrorists going southeast on Bakalakadaka Street.
That's a we all know very well. Mephisto knows that street.
Yeah. It's right next to Durka.
Durka Street.
Wait.
Probably by the Searchers.
There was Durka Street in the Searchers?
No, I don't know what the fuck Martin was interrupting me for. What?
Because I have to run another video for Tim.
Okay, go for it.
Pictures of civilian casualties.
Fuck you, Tim.
Yeah, fuck you, Tim.
Penny's here too. Didn't we want to get a video for her?
Well, it's I can't find it. I will find it. It's I've been looking for it. So Ron Howard was influenced by the Searchers too, and he made his own gender role reversal with The Missing, which is a good film. I think it's a very good film. Not great, but it's a good film. So any other starred comments? No, not okay. All right. Blazing Saddles is too damn funny. Hold it. What the motherfuck is this shit?
The what?
Blazing Saddles.
It's
now
too
I
Jewish.
actually, yeah, it's too Jewish. I got to tell you, I love the song Blazing Saddles. The song that was written for this film, I don't like, but I love Blazing Saddles. And the funny part of that song is the singer thought it was a serious movie. So he sang it serious. Had no idea until he went to see the premiere that it was a comedy.
Which is good because all Mel Brooks wanted to do, it's make a Western, but it's a parody about a Western. Yeah. Plus, like all good parodies, the creator of the parody has to have some sort of reverence to the source material. Otherwise, it does not work. Martin left.
Oh, did we lose Martin?
Or cut off?
He's
probably
gone.
a Wi-Fi hiccup. Yeah, it happens. That's why I'm running the slideshow.
Well, I got to tell you, there's some shit going on with Stream. There is shit going on with StreamYard. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, yesterday.
It went down worldwide.
Several different streams that I watched. The broadcast, they said there's nothing on their end, but every so often it would just flicker for a little bit. The video would flicker, then nothing would happen, and then the audio would flicker, and then again the video would flicker.
Again,
very strange.
That's Skynet spreading its tentacles,
I guess.
It officially was a Google Cloud problem because it died on us when we were hanging out, and we had to find a different version, so we were able to hang out. But yeah, it was out for hours. We need to continue the slideshow.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit it.
We're only a couple minutes in. It's ridiculous.
Because I'm doing other stuff
late
too right now.
I know. My bad. I wasn't paying attention. We were already almost half an hour in when I realized.
Oh, you're trading for wife then. You're not paying attention to him. Good.
No, I wasn't paying attention to the time. Usually I have an eye on the timer, and when we pass 20 minutes and Martin isn't doing his job bringing the slideshow up, I do it. So fuck you.
You know, it sounded like she said "Eye of the Tiger" right there. So I thought, this is the eye of the timer. It's the thrill of the fight.
Get your ears checked, old man. You keep mishearing stuff.
I'm old. That'll teach you to fall in love with the sexagenarian.
With a senior citizen.
Yeah, that's right.
It was nice working here.
Oh, well. It was nice while it lasted. All good things come to an end. Wait, was this a good thing? I don't know.
Oh,
by the way, the shirt that John Wayne is wearing is Gary's favorite shirt.
It's my favorite one because it's got that maroon burgundy look to it. It is the same shirt that Quigley wears. Tom Selleck wears as Quigley.
Well, you love the style, and in his
it's
case,
a Western shirt. It's a rodeo shirt, a Western shirt. It's typically seen worn by cowboys, and I grew up in the Southwest for my first 8 years, and I just love the Southwest. And by the way, she spotted something, how a Mexican gets on a horse in this.
That looks so
weird, but Mexicans do rodeo so different than the way Western cowboys do it. That including not just how they mount their horses, but how they teach their horses some of the tricks they do. And one of my favorites that they do, their horses are trained to. There's Lauren. That's Lauren's expression right there. That's Lauren right there.
I can see that in that story. We just went past one of my favorite lines from this movie. You got a warrant? You fit a lot of descriptions.
Yeah, you fit a lot of descriptions. So I just put up another poll. Of these movies, which John Wayne role do you consider his best? The Searchers, The Shootist, True Grit, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. So have fun. I love Ward Bond in this scene because there's so much chaos going on here. And again,
did you know?
He chooses to go and makes his brother stay home with the family. And little does he know that's not going to save the day.
No. I mean, the tragic things that happen in this beautiful landscape. Did you know that John Wayne got an Indian name while producing this movie? Because one of the
American Indians really liked him.
Yeah, one of their children got sick, and he had his private plane there and had his pilot fly the little girl to a hospital. And for that, they named him the Man with the Big Eagle. And I think that's wonderful that he had such a good relationship with them.
And in fact, I guarantee you,
there's a big dick joke in there somehow, but I'm too tired to make it. The Man with the Big Eagle. Come on,
the Man with the Big Eagle.
Eagle is a very important animal to them. So that's an honor.
I know.
They point out that the main actors who play Indians in this aren't Indians. They're one's a German. He's from fucking Germany.
Yes.
He plays Scar. But that dude, he could play almost any fucking race other than German. Because he doesn't look German. He looks fucking Italian. He could look like an American Indian. He had a very prominent nose, but he had those grayish eyes, ash gray eyes.
I don't think he pulls off the American Indian. Sorry.
Not very well. I mean, he plays the character.
Not at all.
Fine.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you.
Here's why. At the time when they made this movie, to my knowledge, there was only one fucking Indian actor in Hollywood, American Indian. And that was Jay Silverhills from Lone Ranger. And later, you would get the American Indian actor who worked with Daniel Boone, or on Daniel Boone, something Parker, I forget his first name. He ended up having what's considered to be the longest laugh on American television history when he went on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he was an expert at throwing tomahawks. And so he's going to go on there and show how to throw a tomahawk. And when he threw the tomahawk at the human shape on the wood wall, it hit him right in the crotch. And the tomahawk is not just stuck in the crotch. The way he throws it is backwards. So the handle is sticking way up in the air on this human silhouette. And it's funny as fucking shit. And it was considered, and I think it's still considered, the longest laugh on live television. Because Johnny Carson milked the joke. He would not he just stayed silent and kept Parker from doing anything. Nope, stay silent. Let the audience really take what just happened in. And, but they were the only two American Indian actors I knew of in the 50s, going into the early 60s. And so they would hire other guys to play the main characters. But what they did do in this movie is they would use the local tribes, which included Shawnee and Cherokee. And I don't know what the other tribe is there in Utah.
Navajo?
The Utes. I don't know, because Navajo, we see them a lot down in Arizona territory. But this area there, they might be there. But all of them
was it the Utes?
Right. He used Navajo.
That's what I said. I just said Utes. The Utes were there. But basically, that's a real tribe.
What is a Ute?
Oh my God. That is a real tribe, the Utes. Okay. What is a Ute? For those of you that don't know that fucking joke, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You don't get that fucking joke. That's funny as shit.
You broke my fist, though. Congratulations.
No, I'm going to tell you, Slasher Fred. The two Utes. The two Utes. Slasher Fred. Disney stole the Lion King from a Japanese animation director. And the movie he stole was called Kimba the White Lion. It's the same fucking story. And he just changed the name from Kimba to Simba. And he fucked up. What's that cocksucker's name that was running Disney at that time? Michael Eisner. Fucking sent a letter out and accidentally, this is a matter of historical record, accidentally said Kimba instead of Simba, which basically gave up the ghost. You stole that. He's like, it's from Hamlet. Go fuck yourself. It's from Kimba the White Lion, you lying, cheating, stealing motherfucker.
Hey, maybe Kimba was inspired by Hamlet. You never know.
Well, there are elements in there, but no, it was stolen from Kimba. So anyway, that's my response to that statement, Slasher Fred. So yeah,
and if it wasn't for Steve,
well, I was just going to say they only had two Utes there in Utah.
I was gonna say, if it wasn't for Steve Jobs, Michael Eisner would have run Disney to the ground.
Now,
because they had a hot streak with animation.
Until
Pixar showed up.
Exactly. And Pixar should have been an offshoot of Lucasfilm, but George Lucas didn't see a future with it, so he said, "You guys can have it. Go do what you're going to do with it." So a lot of people don't know Pixar was part of Industrial Light and Magic until he gave it to them, and they went off and did what they're going to do. So I want to point out something that John Wayne gets called racist in this, and I said that is how fucking narrow your fucking brain is. That this isn't racism. This is cultural hatred. And it's cultural hatred that is brought about by something that you have seen too much of. And to just label Ethan as a racist just shows how little you understand of those characters in this film. This character, and by the way, I want to point out, this is based on a true story. For those who don't know this, yes, it's also based on the novel The Searchers, which came out in 2 years before the movie. But it was also based off of the story of Cynthia Ann Parker, who had been kidnapped as a child by the Comanche, or the Comanches, a lot of them called them at the time. And back in 36, it was like way before. This is taking place in 1868. She was kidnapped in 1836. And it's a very similar story, but she did come back. She did reassimilate into society later. But she also maintained her Comanche heritage because she had adopted that life. So she continued having a close relationship with the Comanche, even after she was brought back to society. So if you didn't know that, go look that up. Her name is Cynthia Ann Parker, and she was a real person, and that was the inspiration for this story. Also, this hatred that he has for the kid that's his adopted nephew, that he even was like, the way he said, it's not like I saved him. I was the only person there.
It just happened to be me, is what
it just happened to be me. So he has this inward hatred of him because this is a bad fucking memory for him. This is, cultural hatred from warfare. And it happens. And to just label somebody that's been through that as racist, it just makes you look stupid because you don't understand what's going on with that character and why they feel that way. And of course, now he sees that the entire family was killed, but over by the tombstones, they find the doll that belonged to Debbie, and she's been taken, as was Elizabeth, the older daughter, which leads to one of the most heartbreaking moments later, because, Jurgensen wants to go find her because, that's his woman. He's going to marry her. And Ethan's character breaks up. He just starts falling apart, telling how he had found her earlier and didn't want them to see her. He buried her.
It is so heartbreaking. And his reaction, Ethan's reaction to the question, had they RAPED her, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and this, by the way, was the beginning of the transition for Westerns, because even John Ford recognized that John Wayne characters aren't always John Wayne. Sometimes there's something else. And he got into the complexity of these characters. And John Wayne nailed it. He's heroic, but he's horrifying at the same time. And this scene, it made me laugh because Anima and I both noticed at the same moment, yeah, you can see him breathing.
Yeah.
But then he fucking fires, and that is not a sound effect. That is the sound of a fucking cult going off. That is a deep resonating pistol fire that he shoots into that dead Indian. And they're like, why would you do that? He's already dead. He says, you don't understand. He can't go into the sky now because I shot out his eyes. So in their belief system, he is lost.
Yeah.
There's no heaven for him.
It's like the Vietnamese with the feet, which is why they were cutting off their feet so they couldn't go to their form of paradise. It's cruel. It
is. And by the way, one of my favorite characters in this movie is Moses.
And he's based on a real guy, loosely.
Yeah. Well, Hank Warden was part of that John Ford, John Wayne posse. They're in films together. And by the way, Harry Carey Jr. is in this film, and he became part of that posse because who his dad was, Harry Carey, well, Sr. But they just called him Harry Carey. And Harry Carey was such a good friend to John Wayne and John Ford that at the end of this movie, the famous image of him grabbing his arm, standing silhouetted in that door, is a nod to Harry Carey, because Harry Carey was always doing that, grabbing his arm, using his right hand to go over and grab his left arm. It was just something that he did when it's something actors learn. Find something to do with your hands. Because one of my favorite comedies about acting has just complaining, I don't know what to do with my hands. Should I put them in my pocket? Should I be touching something? I don't know where my hands go. It's fucking funny. Because it's something that you have to learn how to do in films, is what to do with your fucking hands. And some actors, some actors, like, I just forgot his name. He was in Paul Newman's movie where he's in the prison gang movie.
I don't know.
Oh my God. I'm expecting other people that are movie fans to remember the film I'm talking about. So the guy that runs the prison is a character actor that's worked with John Wayne. He's in Liberty Valance, Cheyenne Country Club. He's in so many fucking Westerns. He's also in True Grit. He's the guy that she keeps threatening to bring the lawyer on him if he doesn't write the check for the right amount. So anyway, he was notorious for fiddling with things on camera, always doing shit with his hands. And Jimmy Stewart got mad at him one day. They were on a set doing their TV show that he co-starred. Strother Martin. Strother Martin's sitting there, and Jimmy walks onto the set, looks into the scene, looks over at Strother Martin and looks at the director, and he goes, now, he can either have the pencil or he can have the string, but he can't have both because nobody will even notice I'm in the scene if he's got both. That's how good he was at fucking distracting people, fiddling around. Steve McQueen would do that shit, and it pissed off Yul Brynner. He'd upstage him all the time, fiddling with his hat, fiddling with his gun in the background during a Yul Brynner scene. And it led to a physical altercation between Yul Brynner and fucking Steve McQueen. So I stopped here for a reason, because there was a lot of soundstage stuff, especially for night shots, because Ford wanted to get away from doing day for night. So he did a lot of night shots on sets where you can control the lighting. And this is one of those great sets, man. It looks natural, it looks real. It doesn't look like a fucking painting back there.
No, they nailed the look. The problem is the acoustics, but the sound, you can tell.
It's always the acoustics gives it away. It's the only thing that gives away that this is a soundstage.
I know. About Carey, did you mention the other tribute, casting his wife and son for this movie?
Yeah.
Well, Ford and Wayne and other actors that were part of the posse would have their kids in the movies. And in fact, I just forgot his name. The guy that's in The Mandalorian, John Wayne's grandson. His mother was in the movie, the Irish movie, with Maureen O'Hara, love story, comedy. Somebody fucking help me here.
I don't know, man.
The Quiet Man. Jesus Christ.
I can't
fucking remember shit. The Quiet Man. Anyway, so he used a lot of sets in that one too for controlling weather and shit like that. And Ward Bond, I shit you not, Ward Bond was John Wayne's best fucking friend on the planet. And when he died in 1960, Wayne was devastated and broke down over it. But Moses here, he is so good in this. He's in so many fucking Westerns, plays such interesting characters. But this one is one of my favorites because I don't know if he's mentally handicapped or fucking crazy, but he's something. And that's the
Well,
German actor.
The historical person was half crazy. He's mentioned to be half crazy.
I loved it when somebody say something shitty to him, and he will thank you. He'd thank him for saying something nasty to him. That was fucking funny. This is a great moment because they look to the left and they look to the right, and they've got a line of Comanche on both sides of them. They're like, play it cool, boys, until I say run.
Martin, you were trying to say something?
Yes, I was busy doing other things in the background, so I haven't seen the poll. And seeing it now, I can just say, curse you, Gary, for making me choose between the searcher and the shootist.
Oh,
The shootist, man. How dare?
It's hard.
Man.
It's hard, but
hard.
the clear runaway winner is because I listed the searchers, the shootist, True Grit, and the man who shot Liberty Valance. And Liberty Valance was a runaway one. And I agree with you. And what's so odd about that movie is the studio wanted color. And John Ford refused to shoot it in color and shot it instead in black and white because he felt it was a black and white film. All the actors did all their own horse stunts in this movie, by the way.
That is so impressive. I'm always surprised by what they could do back then with the horses. Hopefully without injuring them, because it's wild.
Well, I just said it was inspired by, but it's not like a really deep inspiration because it took place like 60 years before the story takes place. This takes place in 68 after the Civil War. So only certain elements from it were borrowed. But again, those elements are also in the book, The Searchers. So really, this film is just based on the book. But I got to tell you, Ford had a great screenwriter with this film and absolutely nailed it with adapting the book and giving it its own twist. And of course, the screenplay was written by Frank S. Nugent. I don't know, maybe related to Ted, I don't know. And based on Alan LeMay's novel, which is still out there. You can still get it. It's still in print. But Frank Nugent worked with him on so many fucking movies. The Quiet Man, Mr. Roberts, Fort Apache. God, he worked all the way up until 1966.
Yeah, I used to own a Ford Apache.
It's
I'm
good
joking.
film.
I'm joking. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Escape from New York.
Even my glancing jokes didn't land.
Yeah.
Go
anyway,
in the corner and think about what you said.
Hey, that's like in Star Wars. I'm sorry, but your joke deflected harmlessly off the surface.
Yes.
Matt, it's not your fault. It's nothing to do with you. This is not Gary. This is the Searcher's Gary.
Yeah, this is me.
He's going to get through it.
I mean,
I'm so in love with this movie.
I hit some of the surface and some of the tower. Never mind.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to head off to bed, or
bed.
maybe probably get into bed and not sleep for a couple of hours, which happened to be all this week. But
all right, so please
for non-Iranian related issue.
So no matter what, from Martin, Anima, and I, we love you, and I love you. You're a dear friend to me. Please take care of yourself and your family and stay safe, okay, brother?
We are, man.
Safe,
we are.
please.
It seems more awful, but yeah.
It's scary, is all it is. It's just
Stay
scary.
in touch, okay?
It's very scary, but
we are in
thankfully-
uncharted territory right now, my friend.
Thankfully, we have Caitlyn Jenner in Israel to protect us, because apparently, and this, I was looking at it 5 minutes ago because it made me laugh. Caitlyn Jenner was here. Well, she's still here. It's Bruce is still here because today or Friday, was supposed to be the Pride Parade in Tel Aviv, but it was canceled. And it made a lot of people in my government very happy because they're very conservative and religious.
Yeah. Just yeah. By the way, I want to point out that Bruce Jenner / Caitlyn Jenner managed in my lifetime to be both Man of the Year and Woman of the Year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For
I
doing
mean,
what?
I mean, Caitlyn Jenner is pretty based. She went to she did go to Gaza like yesterday. That's the story I saw. Like she literally went there to consult families that were either suffered her horrific tragedy or they have still loved ones there, like in Gaza. So it's pretty awesome.
Good on Caitlyn.
Good on Caitlyn, man.
I think it's awesome
you know,
what you did with the brat, Greta.
Yeah, she mixes up. She's got a good mix of realism and like fruity tooty stuff.
Simply put, the most based crazy person I've ever met that actually killed somebody.
Yes, for sure.
No,
the best way to describe Caitlyn Jenner.
Because Caitlyn Jenner killed somebody. She did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you get
just like Matthew Broderick killed 2 people. Okay.
Oh,
letting you know.
Like that. Okay.
I'm dark. I'm sorry.
Anyway, once everything is settling down, I think a lot of people are going to wake up to a whole new reality in the world, but that is left to be seen.
Well,
we'll see.
I liked what Netanyahu said, that this message is to the people of Iran. This is not about you. We love you and we hope that you're safe and that one day you will be free of this regime.
Oh yeah, there's no love for the Islamic Republic of Iran, but there's a lot of love to the Persian people of Iran. A lot of people. Great people. These are really, really great people.
Just you can say whatever you want to about when the Shah was in, but the Iranian people, the Persians, were happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't put
living
too much.
Good lives.
Yeah, let's just say there's a reason why the revolution was there, because he wasn't a really good ruler. But I said, the people are great. And to be fair, the sort of Middle Eastern mentality kind of fits like with us and them. So it's a shame. We'll put that aside. It's like I said, with everything in the Middle East is complicated. But go searchers, do all that stuff. I'm gonna go to sleep. All right,
buddy. Get some rest. Good night, buddy.
And I'll maybe pop in tomorrow if everything goes off without a hitch.
You are welcome to actually try to watch the fucking movie.
I probably will have time.
Okay, good. All right, buddy. I love you, man.
I do.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mephisto. One of the best friends on this channel. We fucking love that guy.
Yes,
so I don't know what's going on here, but I'm looking at this comment here. The movie is set in 1868, which I mentioned. That was long before the turn of the century, which was 1900. What is that in reference to?
It's he just, he just threw facts and fun facts.
Oh, yeah. And Snorty brought this up too, and it's true. Yes, there's the 1873. Yeah, absolutely. But you see that in a lot of westerns from that period. You really do. So good catch, though. Either way it goes, good catch. I like, because I noticed that shit too when I'm watching a movie. I'm like, wait a minute, what's he doing with a Sharps rifle?
I guess they're using what they have, reusing old props and shit. If it's just
I liked the movie 1900. It's a very good film. Bernardo Bertolucci. Very good movie. So this is day for night shot. The
There's
use
so
of
much of it in this movie, and I hate the look of
it's
it.
either post-production or they put a filter on, a blue filter. But this is where Ethan gives the bad news that basically your fiance, I found her, she's dead. I didn't want you to see what they did to her, so I stayed back and buried her so you wouldn't have to see.
And get distracted because little sister is still alive, being groomed.
Oh, and of course, fucking Harry Carey Jr.'s character loses his fucking mind and goes off and gets himself shot. Runs towards him, guns ablazing, because the woman he loved is dead, and that means for him, his life is over.
Hey, that can make you lose your mind. Shit like that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, nothing short of a bullet could have stopped that guy at that moment.
Yeah.
And I like that you don't get the musical cue until this one particular shot, because you hear all these gunshots, but then you hear this one, and then you hear the bah, 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 and that lets you know, oh, that was him getting smoked. That was the end. He's dead. This is a great shot right here. I love this shot. But then again, back on the soundstage, so they could have the controlled weather.
Because this is needed to tell you that a long time is going by while they are searching for the girl.
Yeah, from the beginning to end, it's 8 years.
Yeah.
8? I thought it was 5.
No, it's 8 years.
It's 8 total years from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. Is 8
they mention
solid
it
years
somewhere. And what makes it so perfect is that the two girls playing, what's her name, Debbie, they are sisters, age difference 8 years. So it's perfect.
Yep, that was her little sister playing the younger version of her. And of course, the older version is the tragic Natalie Wood, which I'm embarrassed. I'm going to make the joke again. What kind of wood doesn't float? Natalie Wood. And because she drowned. And that was a joke when I was in high school. Yeah, I almost thought that was the same homestead because it looks so the same, but then I went, oh, wait, there's this other house there. So clearly that's not the same one.
Just a similar style, I guess. Because it was really function over style with these homesteads in those times.
Well, Victorian became Edwardian and Edwardian became modern. Yeah, that's how it flowed. And I love the costume changes to also show the period of time. But that's, by the way, that's Vera Miles. And for any of you fans of cinema should know, she, of course, is the sister in Psycho that shows up to find out what happened to her sister. And she appeared in Psycho 2 as well. I'm not sure. She might have been in Psycho 3 as well. And I like the Psycho sequels. I thought they were really well done.
Never gonna
Even the made-for-TV one. The made-for-TV one actually is a prequel, partially, because then you see how Norman Bates became Norman Bates. And it's the first time you meet his mother, Norma. And you see how crazy she is. And she's played by Olivia Hussey. We should do those sometimes, Martin. I love those Psycho films. But Vera Miles, beautiful young lady. This scene is funny as shit. Because she fakes like she leaves the room and shuts the door. And he pulls the towel off him and starts bathing again. And then she pours cold water on him.
he's very shy. And she's like, yeah, I have brothers, so there's nothing I haven't seen. But he's like, yeah, but still, he's so shy. It's funny.
I hated the American version of The Vanishing. But the original film, it's heartbreaking because it's a dark ending. But yeah, Breakdown's a really good film. I like that movie. And it was the last film of the guy that played the villain. I can't think of his name right now. God, good actor. He died right after making that. Well, he had a terrible temper, and he was really kind of mean. And he was always being mean to Johnny. Yes. That whenever the kids were around, that cantankerous fucking cranky old prick would go away. Because for some reason, the kids, and Patrick's one of them, that he really took a shine to, and he would never disrespect his father in front of Patrick. And by the way, something a lot of you people probably don't know, Patrick Wayne, unlike his dad, got his degree in college, and upon graduation, signed up and served, and actually was in a couple of incidents with the U.S. Coast Guard. And he showed great bravery with the Coast Guard. Gutsy kid. Still alive. He's 85.
And still looks good.
Yeah, he's just chiseled. He got a lot of it from his mom, oddly.
Good genes.
He got the blue eyes from his dad, but like, God, the chiseled, everything about him. He doesn't look anything like his dad.
This was his first big movie, right?
No, not really, because he's also in She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, which was before this, I recall. He always played young cavalry guys, and he was really good in a lot of the films he's in. He's a good actor, but he just sort of faded away from acting because, he moved overseas for a while. I think he lived in Spain until he separated from his wife, and then he inherited the estate from his dad, and I think it was, I can't remember. It was a large sum of money for that period. And he moved back to the States, fell in love again, and he's still married to her to this day. And he easily could have played this character here, Martin, because he had that same look. But he has really one of the most lovable characters in this movie is the young officer, Lieutenant Green. John Ford was known for his... Yes, I was talking about that. Absolutely. Good one, Gambit. Yeah, he fell in love with Monument Valley, the first one being Stagecoach. Now, he's been labeled as a racist by Quentin Tarantino and others, and his association with Birth of a Nation director. I just forgot his name. Oh my God, what the fuck is his name? Oh fuck.
Right.
D.W. Griffith, because D.W. Griffith was absolutely a racist. And why? It's a guilt by association thing. And I get so tired of people doing that shit. John Ford is in the movie. Well, a lot of fucking people were in the movie that weren't racists. The director was the one racist. The writer was racist. But when you're struggling and trying to get fucking work, so people that do that can shut the fuck up. And that includes Quentin Tarantino. It just shows that, movie trivia. You're a walking human movie trivia guy, but you don't know your fucking history.
Speaking of history, Patrick Wayne started his career in 1950, so he was like 10 or 11 years old. Had a couple of uncredited small roles. And 55, he did Mr. Roberts, where he was credited. And then The Search was 56. I don't see the other one.
Mr. Roberts is a film we've got to do because, Ford got fired off that. This is the first movie he made after that. Yeah, because he fucking punched Henry Fonda. They were friends, and Fonda said something. He was drinking all the time. He was fucking drunk. He's having chronic pain mixed with the fucking PTSD from World War II. And he like so many fucking veterans, he turned to the sauce. And it destroyed his life, killed him young, killed him early.
Well, that's what they do when they don't get help. They self-medicate, usually with booze.
Yes.
It's sad.
So just to let you know, John Ford, upon his return to Hollywood, made the film The Expendables. And it's a good film. It's a good film. But that is the movie where he started openly mocking John Wayne for not serving. And it got really bad on the set. And it was Robert Montgomery, who was the co-star of the film, that because he was berating John Wayne in front of everybody, calling him a coward, yellow. And Wayne was just taking it, because that's Pappy. That's what he called fucking John Ford, Pappy. And finally, Montgomery had enough and chewed John Ford out for doing that to him in front of everybody. He says, you need to knock that shit off. Whatever your fucking problem is with John Wayne, get past it or find someone else to direct this film. Because I'm not going to stay if you're going to keep doing this. And that was the last time. John Ford never said another fucking word to John Wayne. And John Wayne did break down and cry at one point.
Wow.
And it was in private. He went into the bathroom. And I don't know if it was Montgomery or if it was Jack Holt, because both were World War II vets, went in to talk to him and said, get out there and just fucking do your job and don't worry about it. Get over it. Because he was ashamed that he was working with all these guys that were fucking war veterans while he stayed stateside, and he felt like what he really was. He was a coward. But get past it. So he spent the rest of his life defending the United States, the Constitution, and the American flag. I love this scene because basically
he sets him up as bait.
Ethan Lee puts him out there as bait, and he's being all nice to him and shit, fixing his blanket, making sure he's warm.
Yeah, and then throwing wood on the fire to make it even bigger. And he's complaining like, dude, I'm burning up here. Stop it. He has no clue why he's doing that.
And he says, I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, I see Sandra Hammerslag is here too.
He has been for a while.
And you already saw Tim. Read by Nature. Well, I just noticed it. And of course, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So yeah, we've got everybody. And my good buddy, Andy Morrow, he and Tim keep me company online. When I'm working at night and Anima's asleep, I've got Andy and fucking Tim sending me fucking memes to keep me tickled for the evening.
So you're not lonely?
I'm not lonely.
Lonely.
Lonely. I'm so lonely.
Sorry for mispronouncing that.
Wait a minute. What did you mispronounce? I didn't catch it. What was it?
You're not lonely. You're lonely.
Oh, Ronry. Well, I think I need to go to the main, apparently.
I'm so lonely, so lonely, so lonely inside real alone.
This is another fun scene where she has to read the letter aloud, like in the military.
Oh, she gets so angry.
Privacy. No privacy. You need to read it in front of us. And the dude with the guitar
and once again, this is again an echo of the shit that Ethan went through with Martha, because that was the love of his life, and you can tell that's the subtext of those scenes, that they
You
were
see
deeply
her.
in love.
You see her tombstone, and it says that she was killed by the American Indians. That explains his hatred for them. They killed the love of his life.
Well, it's not just from that. There's so much hatred already. And that's because he was used as he was part of the Texas Rangers. And they would go up and down the ranges dealing with the Comanche all the fucking time. So he's already had a belly full of killing. Then he went off to fucking war with the Civil War.
And we never really find out what he did in the 3 years that it took him to get home. What was he off doing in that time? That never comes up.
Well, that's the joke, is apparently some criminal shit. Now, again, like I said, John Ford used all of the local tribes for the movie. And he absolutely, I believe, would have cast an American Indian in the lead role of Scar if there were actors at that time, but there weren't any. And they even did at one point using Asians to try to be American Indians, and it just doesn't look right. So, but I like this character right here. Terrible actor, but he's so much fun with the cigar in his mouth, pointing all the time. I want that. I like that hat. I'll take that.
It's just so nice that he gave these people work, being extras.
He starts out as a teenager, and by the end of the movie, he's in his late 20s. Because it's 8 years. He's like, I think he's 18 or 19, and he probably would have been 25, 26 by the end.
This is where he gets himself a wife, unknowingly.
Oh, yeah. Scar is clearly... I thought he was Italian, to be honest with you. Come to find he's fucking German, from Germany.
Yeah, he looks Italian.
He's
absolutely.
from the most German town or city, Berlin.
I wouldn't say it's the most German town, no.
Because it's the most talked about city of Germany in America.
Yeah, but Berlin is very healthy. It's a real melting pot.
You can mention all sorts of cities in Germany. Almost every American has heard of Berlin. So,
well, it's their capital, duh.
Now, I want to point something out to you. John Wayne is 6'4", riding a normal size horse in this movie. And when you see his legs sticking out like that, I always thought it was comedic looking. Whenever he rode a normal size horse, it looked weird. I just
hope they checked that the horse would be okay with the weight. Because that's important. When you're over a certain weight, you need to keep your horse carefully.
Even when I was in the Army, I avoided riding horses because my late ex, she wanted to go horseback riding. And I'm like, I'm 220 pounds in the Army. And I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot do that. I'm not going to get on the back of a horse and fucking torture him for an hour riding a trail. No, I'm not going to do it. But look how far his legs kick out. Yeah. It's so fucking funny.
It's almost scraping the ground.
It's like a grown adult sitting on a child's horse.
On a pony, yeah.
And he is 6'4", as was Ward Bond. And that makes him the same height as Keith and 1 inch taller than me, because Keith is 1 inch taller than me. I fucking love him, and he's so good in this scene. And what I love about this scene is she's in hell right now. And he's just loving it, laughing his ass off. He's like, I'm going to get you, girl.
He's both funny and an asshole at the same time. Kind of like Gary.
Yeah. Oh, I love him as an actor. I grew up watching Gunsmoke, man. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. And him as Festus. This is how much in love with his character. I didn't even know there was a character before him, played by Dennis. I forgot his last name. Who went on to have his own Western cop series on CBS, McCloud. Dennis Weaver. So Dennis Weaver was the original deputy, and he had a big old talk, and he talked like this, yeah, boy, And so they brought Festus in, and Festus talk more from the top of his mouth. And he go, now, Matt. He said, Matt, I don't know if you're dead. I fucking love this guy. What a great fucking actor. And Festus was the star of that show. You can say all you want to that James Arness was the star of that show. No. People tuned in each week because of that motherfucker right there. He made that show funny and enjoyable.
There's a trivia question for you, Gary, and you, Martin. I wouldn't know. I know he used the weapon he's using here in another movie, but I don't know if it's that.
The one he carries in this one is white handled.
It's so the one he used in the Alamo.
Yeah, I think that's
what I know.
And I think it's a 44 too. What was the yellow handled one? Was it a 44 too, Snort?
No, how about it? I don't have it on idea.
My favorite catchphrase in this movie. I fucking love it. That'll be the day.
Yeah. He's using it on me now all the time.
By the way, there's a moment in which Martin should. Thank you.
Go ahead.
There's a moment in which Martin should have say that back to him. It would have been a nice shot.
I won't argue with that. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier. That I'm going to look it up real quick because I think he was with Sons of the Pioneers. Ken Curtis. I can't remember what group he was with.
By the way, Snorty says that the yellow-handed Colt was a 44.
44, yeah, because John Wayne preferred the 44. And that's why when you hear him shoot that was live. That was the recording of him firing that weapon. Because I know the sound of a fucking 44. By the way, I was right. The Sons of the Pioneers. He sang with them from 1949 to 53. And again, he rejoined them in 55 to 57. And he was still with them when he made this movie. But once this movie was made, this movie made him a star. And he was destined to play one fucking character and be remembered for that character for the rest of his life is Deputy Festus on Gunsmoke. Fucking love that show, man. Yeah, that's it. I was like, I couldn't remember his last name. His name was Festus Hagen on Gunsmoke. Festus. Well, tarnations, he'd say. I fucking love that. Well, tarnations, man. This scene, okay, this is how deep his hatred for the Cherokees is. That he was killing those buffalo, the bison, so they wouldn't have meat for the winter. So now we see winter. This is the scene. All the way over on the right, if you get a copy of this movie in HD, like at least 720, if you watch that tree line back there, there's that dark line. That's actually a road along that little small mountain. A car drives up and stops right there at the right side of the tree line to watch them do this scene. You can't miss it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, but if you don't know it, there's no way you would pick it up.
He even sings in this fucking movie, Tetrick. He's got a great fucking voice, man. I've always liked his singing. I believe that actually, I think that it was an accident. I don't believe he was involved with her going overboard. He would have done something about it if she fell overboard because he did deeply love her. And I think it happened pretty much the way the police believe it happened. That she was upset, wanted off that fucking boat, and tried to climb out on that dinghy and fucking fell in the water, and everybody was fucking sound asleep, drunk, sound asleep.
Yeah.
And but again, I was in high school when that happened, and that was the joke that came out when I was in high school: is what kind of wood doesn't float? Natalie Wood. But in reality, she did float. They found her.
I think we have a new member of the audience here. I don't remember that name. So welcome, Tetrarch of
I
Apathy.
think I've seen it
Nice
before, but
name.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was our channel, but I seem to remember seeing Tetrarch on either on here or one of our.
Oh, we share an
friends'
audience with a lot of channels, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't
Yeah, I know.
recall him on ours.
Because I do know that name. I've seen Tetrarch of Apathy. I've seen it. So if it is your first time on our channel, man, welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you, and I hope you subscribe to hang out with us to talk about movies we love to talk about.
Or
And sometimes some of us do. Sometimes we do movies that Anima doesn't like, and it's fun to bet at what degree or level does she hate the movie. Which we're gonna have. We're gonna have a bet tomorrow. No money involved, no gambling, but there's gonna be a bet in there
on Equilibrium
on a scale of 1 to 10. How much she hated that movie. What is the movie? What are we doing tomorrow?
No, we're doing Equilibrium tomorrow. I don't think we're going to hate that
Role
one.
Models. Role Models is the one I have.
That's the one, yeah.
And I want to see at the beginning of the film to see how correct you guys are of how much she liked or hated the movie. And she can't say. She's not allowed to say. She's got to keep it quiet.
I haven't seen it yet.
We should do the same with Eurotrip. Because I know she's not gonna
like that
one.
She's gonna fucking hate that movie.
Why are you doing this to me?
I love that movie. It's so fucking fun because we don't just do this film for us. We also do the film for the audience, and we need to do films that they want us to talk about. And I know there's a big fan base for that movie.
You don't allow me to take a night off if I don't like the movie. That's clickbait, dude.
That's where I've seen you. That's where I've seen you. Okay, over on Nick's channel.
That's why the name isn't familiar.
And I'm good friends with those guys.
Nick's
my schedule's gotten so tight. My schedule's become so tight with this book. I haven't been able to join other people's streams, though I did jump on last night with our buddy 24/7 Fusion Media.
Oh.
And he was having all kinds of connection problems. We had like a 10 to 15 second delay where I would say something and I'd have to wait for him to respond to it. It's funny. He's got the fucking guitar still in his hand, plucking away. Oh, fucking love these scenes. Every time she's reading a letter, he's laughing. The Mexican man who takes the searchers to meet with Chief Scar is called Emilio Gabriel Fernandez y Figueroa. The name of this character, played by Antonio Moreno, is a combination of the names of Mexican actor and director Emilio Fernandez and his cinematographer Gabriel Figueroa, both of whom were friends of director John Ford. That's fucking cool, dude.
There's a fun fact with that character. He mispronounces his name, and it's a very common thing in Latin America. People who says Gabriel instead of Gabriel. They move the R before the A.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is, but it happens. I've seen it many times in my life, and I think it was a cool thing that they show that here.
By the way, I want to tell you something about my dad. Okay, my dad used to drive me crazy because when he served in the Army, one of the guys in his squad, his name was Martinez. Okay, and he pronounced it Martinez. And I'm like, why are you saying his name like that? Well, that's how he pronounced his name. I guarantee you that is not how he said his last name.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not Martin. It's not Martinez. It's Martinez.
So your dad annoyed you by doing that, and you don't get how you annoy us.
One fucking name. It's one fucking name. And it's like, this is a popular, well-known name. It's one of the most popular fucking Mexican names, Martinez. You don't have to do it with a fucking accent. You don't have to roll it, but fucking pronounce it close to the fucking name, Martinez. It's not Martinez. Oh, drove me crazy with my dad in that name.
There's a thing that happens, and I have seen it in Latin America with people who has ascendancy that is not from a Hispanic ascendancy. After one or two generations, they lost track how their last names are pronounced.
That's true.
And
the original Spanish names. Yeah, it's true.
So that guy that was with your father, he may believe by any standard that his name was in fact Martinez. He may believe that.
Wow, that would be sad if that's true. But by the way, a lot of people don't know this. The reason why you occasionally see redheaded, like a redheaded boxer, down in Mexico is because there's a fucking shit ton of Irish in Mexico that relocated there after the Civil War, and a lot of people don't know that.
And I have another one for you. During the Civil War, they have a battalion composed only of Irish people.
By the way, the name Obregon comes, and I remember this, comes from the name O'Brien. And that's what it became in Mexico. O'Brien became Obregon.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
I thought that was neat. There's a huge Irish culture in Mexico that people don't fucking know about. I pause this for a reason because I love the scene when John Wayne picks up that glass of tequila and tastes it and puts it back down, like picks up the bottle, like, what the fuck did I just put in my mouth?
I love how he keeps taking the glass away from the kid because he's not old enough.
He keeps taking it away from. But
and
then my favorite is
so hard.
he picks up the glass again in the last moment in this. I just forgot the word for bar in Mexico, cantina. So and I love how the female. The Castellita Mexican lady is trying to get his attention. All he wants is a fucking beans. Just give me more free holies. He throws the fucking tequila on the fucking open fire and it explodes all over the fucking place. I laugh so hard every time I see that scene. I fucking love that scene.
You should not drink shit like that.
And that was clearly a dig by either John Ford or John Wayne. Because Wayne spent a lot of time down in Mexico drinking. He loved going to Mexico to drink, him and Ward Bond and their posse. Yeah, she's trying to get his attention, and he could give two shits. I just like these beans. They're really good.
Well, she's very interested in the food then, too. Finally getting rid of the annoying castañettes. I hate them.
Yeah, I think it's cut out. Yeah, we didn't get to see where he throws it on the fire. But when you see Moses trying to put something out, that was after he had thrown it on there. This is hard to do. It's hard to walk on sand dunes, and it's fucking hard on horses to ride on them. This is why the U.S. cavalry adopted camels in the 1800s and brought them over.
They're used to that, yeah.
And ironically, they gave up on the camels, and the camels now live in the wild in Arizona. And it is where the name Camelback Mountains came from, because they look like the double humps on a camel.
I didn't know that.
And I know dromedary is a single hump, but I don't remember what you call the double hump camel. I can't remember what that's called.
I wouldn't call Wyatt Earp a gunslinger. most of his life was, in fact, working as a law enforcement.
Well, not only that, he was more known for whacking people. That's the word. And they put it in the movie Tombstone. I love that they had whacking people, always whacking people. He did. He'd fucking knock them out with the butt of his pistol. Because that was a heavy fucking gun he carried. The weight of that gun, it was a fucking weapon by itself without bullets in it. That's it.
Was it a drug?
Bactrian. That's it. Thanks, Tetrarch.
Did he use a dragon?
What?
No. There's a revolver called the Dragon. Or was it? Or the Dragon was during the Civil War? I don't remember.
I know that he carried a buntline. I don't know if he carried during the time he was best known for. He carried a Colt buntline, and it was a heavy gun.
The moment they showed that those women, I knew that girl was one of them. I knew it.
And what's interesting here, because Anima was like profoundly bothered, like, why did she suddenly change her mind? No, she didn't change her mind. It's just she was scared. And the way they got to play it cool right now, and that's his award medal from the Civil War that he gave her that's around Scar's neck, and he fucking hates that.
Yeah, like I said, first watch, you don't pick up everything when you watch something for the first time.
Well, Gambit, not only he was a sheriff, he was a marshal. The other thing about him is in the movie Tombstone that they get completely wrong is when they went there, they were already in law enforcement when they went
to
Tombstone. And the movie makes it look like they became. It's like, no, his brother was already there. He was working with
It was a family business. The older siblings had been, on one point or another, been on law enforcement.
And being in law enforcement allowed them better control over the Pharaoh games that they were running in the prostitution, because they were also pimps. It was legal back then. But this scene right here, because all of a sudden, it seems like he's like going to shoot her, and that's when it gets brutal.
Because to him, she's already dead. She's
been ruined and destroyed by the Comanche in his mind.
Which is sad.
Because the minute he pulls his pistol out, the fight is on between him and Martin. And she's only worried about his safety. It's really what it's about. No, you don't, Ethan. You ain't shooting her.
And she says the one American Indian word that she knows for go away all the time. We never hear anything else from her in that language.
Yeah, he died from a medical mistake.
Oh, that sucks.
That's awful. You see, this is the second time that this movie supports my theory. If you're being pursued, stop, take aim, and fire at your pursuer. Stop running. You need to stop and take good aim.
Yeah. Step that you left out is stop, take cover, and then take aim.
Cover in that case is secondary. The pursuer is not aiming well at you. You can even prescient of that.
Yeah, especially in an environment like that where you create a lot of dust in the air, riding a horse.
Yes, Penny. we had Kitty.
Yeah. She was asleep at the beginning, but now she's like, I'm awake, play with me, give me attention.
Oh my God, we're near 2 hours and we're not near the end of the slideshow.
We started too late and we paused a lot. So, yeah.
So he died in 68. And he was making a movie in Spain called Cry Chicago about the mafia in Chicago. He was injured on set in an explosion when a car window near him went off, and it was rigged to explode outward, but it accidentally exploded inward. And Hunter sustained a serious concussion. According to Hunter's wife, he went into shock. On the flight back from the United States after filming, he couldn't speak. He lost the ability to speak. He could hardly move. After landing, Hunter was taken to a Good Samaritan hospital in Los Angeles, but doctors could not find any serious injuries except for displaced bit of vertebra and a concussion. On the afternoon of May 26, 69, Hunter suffered an intracranial hemorrhage while walking down the stairs at his home. He fell and fractured his skull. He was found unconscious, taken to Valley Presbyterian Hospital, where he underwent brain surgery. He died at 9:30 the following morning at just age 42.
Damn, 42.
That is so sad.
He should have never flown.
Yeah.
With an intracranial injury. And I believe that contributed to his death. So yeah, here's the big dance scene that leads to the fist fight that leads to her showing who she really loves. And of course, King Curtis's character's not happy about it.
This is the prelude to the wedding.
That doesn't take place in the end.
And I love how his character there, Ward Bond's character, goes up to Mrs. Jorgensen to tell her, he says, "You threw the best wedding party without an actual wedding I've ever been to."
Yeah.
Yeah, he died at age 42, man.
Terrible. Just terrible.
And of course, when they show up, at this point, the bodies were finally found. So they had to get to the bottom of who shot those guys and why. And John, it's like, they're all shot in the back. That's because after they attacked us and realized that they didn't get us, they took off running. And so I shot them as they were running. But before the investigation could take place, he gets his gun back anyway because they got to deal with Scar.
He's deputized again.
Yeah. And again, I want to point out, I fucking love the character of Mose Harper, played by Hank Worden. He is so fucking good.
He and his fucking rocking chair.
He just want a roof and a rocking chair of his own.
I mean, there's nothing wrong about a rocking chair. Gary and I agreed that we want to have a deck and 2 rocking chairs in front of our house so we can sit there and get old together.
And shoot door-to-door salesman.
Maybe.
Oh man, that movie! I love that movie. Second-Hand Lions. Oh,
yes, that's one of my favorites.
Most beautiful movie I have ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love everything that I've seen with Michael Caine so far, but that is high up there.
Oh, look at the face of the groom when they asking for the other guy.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go fight him.
And like he presents and they start talking, but as they are talking, he's taking off his gloves, his white gloves.
speaking about the other guy, Ford got bitten by a Scorpio and everybody was worried sick. What if we lose him? What if he doesn't make it? Because that shit can be dangerous. So John Wayne went to check in on him in his trailer. Then he came back out and said, yeah, don't worry, he's fine. It's a Scorpio that died.
Oh, I remember the guy's name now that he shot with Futterman.
Yes. But Futterman wasn't shot in the back. He was shot right in the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the other two shot in the back. Here we go.
Yeah, they're taking off his clothes.
Jesus Christ, Kat, shut up.
Oh, come on. Let us speak her mind.
No one cares what she thinks about a movie she never watched.
And this happens again.
Yeah.
The first time was her pushing him, and now it was her groom.
Yeah, she doesn't work well with that bench.
Yeah, but you see her later watching the fight with a big old smile on her face.
Yes, she was.
I'm like, when I first saw this, I'm like, why is he getting a log, Dad? Why is he getting a log? Is he going to hit him with that? Oh, they're just showing the line. Spit over that log. Biting each other. And what's funny is you because you think it's only Martin doing the biting, but actually he apologized later for biting Martin in the ear.
Yeah, I don't know. She's full of shit, Reed.
Yeah.
And like the rule established: no biting, no gouging. What?
And no kicking. I love when he shoves the mother back into the house. Yeah, big ass grin that they're fighting over her. They shake hands, but then they also get close to going at each other again. This film, amazingly, for as dark as it is, has some really wonderful moments of levity and happiness.
Well, it certainly needs it, because man, this movie hits hard.
So this is where he's having the talk, and he flips the gold coin into his hand because that's one of the things that was missing. And he said it at the time when he took the money back. He said, I'm taking back what was mine, because they were going to kill us. Yeah, Vera was a very beautiful girl. She really was.
She was gorgeous.
The thing that sucks is she plays the part in Psycho as the sister of the main character who dies in the first act, who is what's her? It's Lee. It's something Lee.
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh. And Janet Leigh was more structurally beautiful. Like there's Patrick fucking not knowing what to say here. Well, go ahead. I love this scene. Patrick did a great job in this fucking role. What? Wait, sir. Who? Like, he's so confused during this conversation.
Yeah, because they throw him off by mentioning his dad all the time. And he needs to refer to him as sir and his commander. And he fucks it up all the time. So awkward.
And he's, of course, talking about Moses. There he is. He's been tortured. Ugh. And then he says how he pretended to be crazy for the Indians to leave him alone.
Yeah, eating dirt and stuff.
You promised me my rocking chair.
Yeah.
Made out like I was crazy. And then he gets mad at Ethan and only gives information to Martin. I think that's fucking funny too.
It is. He's comic relief, really.
I'm not going to tell you nothing.
There, ate dirt, chewed grass.
I fooled him. But I'll tell that's where he says it. I'll tell Marty. I won't tell you, but I'll tell Marty.
And he has military daring.
He does. He does a proper salute.
You absolutely buy it from him.
And he's been served at this point. He served 4.5 years later.
How old is he at this point? 16?
No, he was college age.
Oh, he has baby
He's in
face.
college.
He seems so young.
Because he graduated. So technically this is right before college. So he probably would have been 18 or 19. And then he went to college and got his degree. And when he graduated, he went straight into the U.S. Coast Guard. Served. Because he had here's why. It was either the Navy or Coast Guard. He wanted to join one or the other because he loved being on the water. And I got to be honest with you, you've got a better chance of being on the water in the Coast Guard than a Navy.
Really?
Yeah. There are a lot of naval posts where you don't serve on water, where you're dry dock, or what do they call it? Landlocked. Yep. Tippi Hedren. Yeah, Hitchcock destroyed her career. But I also think she had a little blame in it too. When you hear the whole story.
Why? What happened?
I don't want to get into it right now. That's for another time when we talk about Tippi Hedren. We should do The Birds. I think you would enjoy that film. It's technically a horror film, but it's not really horror. It's just birds being scary because they keep flocking around people and attacking them.
There's an opera called The Birds. I've seen that one. It's modern, so it's weird. I don't know if it's based on the same story. God, I'm sorry. I'm so fucking tired right now.
Yeah, Vera Miles is still alive. I think she's 85. Is Janet
95.
Leigh still alive?
According to Tom Baker, she's 95.
Who do you ask for?
No, she
Gary?
died. She died.
Oh.
She died in 2004. I know that Janet Leigh did H2O with her daughter, which I thought was kind of cool. She did Halloween 20.
Oh, that's underwhelming.
There's a lot of landlocked jobs in the fucking Navy, dude. That's why when they told me, because I wanted to be a hospital corpsman in the Marines, and they said, sorry, we still only use Navy hospital corpsmen. So you need to talk. And I was at the Marine recruiter. So I'm like, oh, I got to go to the Navy recruiter. Okay. So I went to the Navy recruiter, and Navy recruiter tells me that I only had a 20% chance of getting into a Marine unit. And I went, so I've got an 80% chance of being stuck doing Navy stuff. And he goes, yeah. I went, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go in the Army. I got 100% chance of being with an infantry unit as a medic. That's what I did. Eva Marie Saint, 102 years old.
Wow. That's
Is Tippi Hedren still alive? Because she's a fucking nut job too. She's Melanie Griffith's mother, as I recall. Yeah, she married Peter Griffith. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And she had Melanie Griffith, and her granddaughter is Dakota Johnson. But yeah, they kept the fucking lions in their fucking house, man. Tippi Hedren was nuts, man. Had her kids around. Fuck that noise. That's insane.
It is.
Now this is really cool because in reality, Marty kills Scar right here. When Scar comes into the teepee, fucking kills him.
Yeah, he plugs in good like 5 times.
Yeah, they didn't even show his death. They just they cut to Marty, fucking boom, 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 and you know he's fucking dead. And then Ethan finds Scar's body, takes back the metal, rips it off his neck, and then pulls out his fucking Bowie knife and scalps him.
Yikes.
Yeah, Tippi Hedren's a fucking nut job, Sander. That's why, when you hear the story, oh, Hitchcock ruined my career and all this stuff, I'm like, I guarantee you played a part in that too, because she's pretty unstable. Marnie. Yes, Marnie's the movie by Hitchcock with Sean Connery. And I guarantee you, fucking Connery nailed her.
Yeah.
As he would always say, I like to slip him my dick.
Oh my god.
This is a great scene because they've got to figure out how to stand up against this small little army, and he grabs her.
There, but just when you think he's gonna shoot her.
Well, he picks her up.
Oh, yes.
You don't have it here.
The scene is not here. The scene is not here, but he picks her up just like when he saw her
as little
little girl.
Picks her up over his head and then scoops her up.
And he's got shot in the ass. They're trying to strike the bullet.
Stabbed in the ass by the sword.
Yeah.
That was the joke, because how did you get hit in the ass like that? And he just looks over at the fucking lieutenant with his sword still out. Because he kept warning him, you're going to hurt somebody with that thing. And he's the one who got hurt by it. I love Vertigo, by the way. Yeah, Kim Novak.
Maybe we would never know Tetrarch.
The way he phrased it, Tetrarch, was, well, sometimes a woman just needs a good schmacking. That's quote.
Yes.
And he's on his rocking chair.
Of course. He deserved it.
This scene is so important because Ethan feels that he is so far gone, he can't go in. I don't belong here. They all go inside, and then the door slowly shuts as he turns away. And of course, he does that famous Harry Carey move. That was a nod to Harry Carey, who they lost in, I think he died in 1947. Everybody's running inside. Everybody's happy, except for poor. There he is, holding his arm. That's a Harry Carey move.
And then he walks away.
Around, and he walks away. I don't deserve this. I'm not part of this world. Just what a great fucking ending.
Great.
And once
fucking
again,
movie.
the woman he loved, dead. You know? And I still suspect that there is a chance that Debbie is his daughter and not his brother.
Nah,
I absolutely think you're right.
I don't know. He wouldn't do that.
Do what?
Get his brother's wife pregnant? No.
No, that's not how it happened. His wife had a child and they adopted her. Something like that.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. All I know is that there is a deep, fucking passionate love between Ethan and Martha, his sister-in-law.
Yes, that is undeniable. But Ethan,
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
And
He's a man of
I
character.
think there is even a man of character can have a failing. You know, I've known plenty of good men that had them. Even I slipped one time.
Yeah, but you had reasons. Wrong reasons. But
Well, I did it for the wrong reason, and which is funny
Yeah,
because
I
my
understand
my
the guy was
girlfriend-
caught and everything.
my girlfriend, who I'm still friends with to this day, Patty, told me that night in a drunken stupor that she had banged her best friend's brother to get at me. She was trying to get under my skin. She was angry at me for some reason that to this day, I don't know why I was so angry at you, but I was. And she was full of venom that night and spitting, trying to hit me. She tried to punch me. And I caught the first punch. I ducked back and she went past me. I'm like, what are you doing? And she went to hit me again. And I caught the hand and I spun her around and I put her in a hold. I wrapped my arms around her and grabbed her hands and held them down. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, don't you manhandle me. And I said, stop trying to manhandle me and I'll let go of you. And took her in the other room. I ended up having to sit on her and put her hands on her lap and sit on her hands and hold her down in the chair. And she's like, in my face. It's fucking funny when I remember this story. Maybe not at the time. But then she goes, you're just mad because, you know, I fucked Janine's brother. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just didn't like the way you acted towards me earlier while my sister was here. It's like, so, and then I just got up and I went, go back to bed. Go back to bed. And she went to bed and I sat up all night thinking about that. Like, what the fuck? And next day she woke up, no memory of what happened the night before. So there was no talk. And I let it go. But I didn't let it go. And I decided I'll feel better if I fuck somebody. And I take this shit off my mind and I get back at her. And in fact, I didn't just bang one girl. I banged quite a few girls. Brought them over to the house, banged them in the house, and including my buddy Matt McGuire's ex-girlfriend. Because we did that. We kind of swapped off girls once I became single again. And that's the dude with the band Guar. We were a bit crazy. I did all that. And then when it came time to throw it in her face, couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hurt her.
You
and
pussy.
I did. I pussied out and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to fucking live with it now that I've done that. And I'd never do it again. And I never did it again. I would never do it. I think it's unconscionable. We're not fucking animals. We're above that. We're humans. We should be better than that. And people who act on their instincts with sex are just basal people. And I just don't want to be around them. You can't trust people like that. It's like they said in the army, if you get caught cheating, you're kicked out of the army. The military, period. The military. They'll kick you out. Why? Because if you're willing to cheat on your spouse, what's going to stop you from cheating on your country?
Or your
That's how they look at it to this day. Infidelity is frowned upon in the military. AI will only become more realistic one day They'll have Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop 2, the 2060 version. Snorty is a fucking, well, you're a polar bear. But I understand polar bears are monogamistic, like penguins. There's certain species on the planet that mate for life. I think wolves do that too, don't they?
I don't know. I know about penguins. Yeah, that's a fact. I think swans.
By the
are
way,
like
if
that
you've
too.
never seen it, the funniest thing you'll ever see on this planet is Benedict Cumberbatch trying to say penguin.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
At one point, he says penguins and penguins. It's just like, how can you not understand that fucking word?
Snorty is like you, Gary. It's 22 minutes past midnight, but he's an hour ahead, like you. You can never remember I'm 7 hours ahead of you.
Yep. So that's it. Great fucking movie. The Searchers is, in my opinion, it's the greatest Western ever made. And John Wayne says it's the best role he ever got to play.
He loves that role.
There are a lot of goofs in the film. I do believe the goofs are because he did not shoot a lot of additional footage. So when it came to edit time, he would grab things from other scenes and put them in. And you would have costume goofs and horse goofs, where they're riding a different horse than what they were just a second ago. Also, I want to point out, I absolutely believe that when Ethan shot that buffalo, he really did shoot it, because they did have bison used in the film that were marked for death within the movie. And they were at a special location, a ranch, where they had these buffalo, and these were buffalo that needed to be put down. So they use a buffalo. But another person has said that they believe that they didn't shoot the buffalo, but had rope around its feet to pull its feet out from under it. And it went down like that. I don't know. It could be one or the other. But I believe they actually shot it. Yeah, the one that cracks me up is when he says, penglings. You can find this. Graham Norton played it for Cumberbatch to his bemusement.
Yeah, because he had made a documentary, no less, about penguins.
About penguins. And he narrated it. Yeah. I ducked in and out a time or two, Huber, and anyone else I missed. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. I want to thank Mephisto for popping on with us. We love him, and I hope he stays safe over there in Israel. And I want to thank Gambit, Snorri, Andy Morrow, D-Bud Martin, Penny, Slasher Fred, Zax, FKC 2005, also known as Tim, Sander Hammerschlag, Read by Nature, and Tetrarch of Apathy. I hope you subscribe to us, Tetrarch. Would love to see you more in the chat. You guys are great contributors, and I love a lot of the commentary in the chat, guys. And thanks for taking part in our polls. You guys answered pretty much the way I expected, except for, I got to be honest, I was a little surprised by The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. But I was happy because it's a great movie. But I'm really surprised that you picked that over The Shootist or True Grit. I figured True Grit was going to get it.
I didn't vote because I couldn't make my mind.
Well, you don't have voter ID because you're not legal.
Jesus Christ.
It depends on what state. If I go to a blue state, they allow me.
Pinglings are practically chickens. They're both flightless birds. Yeah. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here today. Appreciate everybody dropping in. I want to thank Das Wolfen for continuing his 43 months of membership for the show. Got a trivia question here before we go. For the extra, did John Wayne? Oh, that one. I'm not sure on that one.
I couldn't find anything about
in
it.
real life. yes, was a professional singer. We did talk about that. Thanks, Tetrarch. Appreciate it, buddy. Great chat today, guys. Thanks for all the input and thanks for taking part. And I want to thank you all and let you know that when I'm not here with you,
I'm so lonely, so lonely, so lonely and sadly alone.
Even when you're hanging out with me, you asshole.
I'm so lonely. Let's get out of here, guys. Everybody have a great Friday. Don't forget, John will be back tonight. Again, playing
The endless Fallout.
Yeah, seriously, I'm gonna fucking die before he finishes that
Oh,
game.
dude, that game is so big. He's not even doing side quests.
Well, he's not even playing the main game. Yeah, he's doing a side quest the last I watched.
No.
One of the
And
downloadables.
the
I thought he was
thing
doing
is-
DLC.
No, well, yes, but the thing is, he modded Fallout 3 to reproduce two separate Fallout games. So that's why the mod is called the Tale of Two Wastelands, because
Oh, very cool.
it's one two games played as a one whole story. So it gets long.
That's tonight, guys. So support John with his gaming. He's so bad at it. No, he's actually pretty good.
Yeah, have fun shitting on him. He enjoys that.
And don't forget also, you got Friday Night Frolics with Doomcock tonight too. So always support Doomcock, and good friend to this channel and a good friend to us. We love him. And with that, guys, let's tell everybody bye. Bye, y'all. Y'all
Bye.
come back now.
See ya.